The Kenny Smooth Morning Show.
92Q Nationals, R&B, and throwbacks. It's the Kenny Smooth Morning Show. And, of course, every Friday, you know, we got to have the really, really cool kids to come and tell us some really cool things that's happening around the city. Sissy Brown, who we got in the studio this morning?
We have the Director of Education and Exhibitions, Noelle Taylor, and the Executive Director of the National Museum of African American Music, Deon Brown, in the studio.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you
morning,
guys so
good
much
morning.
for being here. Now, tell us about, you have an event coming up, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. Tell us what events you have coming up.
Noelle, go ahead and lead that in. I want to
You
add.
want to do that? Okay, cool. Martin Luther King Day it's full, and we are really, really hoping that the weather coordinates and
No, right?
with us. But you can be safe and warm on the inside. We're starting the day with a drum line by Pearl Cone High School to kick off everything. We'll be showing a couple of screenings. The Child Shall Lead Them and Exit 207. We'll be doing a lobby case exhibit opening featuring Mr. Lorenzo Washington of Jefferson Street Sound Museum. We have several performances. Brianna Bozeman will be joining us that day. Larissa Jay will be joining us that day. And we have a surprise step show that will be happening featuring the Alphas from Fisk. So we're really, really excited about what we have planned out. And we hope that everybody in the community can join us.
Hey, Kenny, what I'd like to add to that, what Noelle doing, what we do in every city that I've been in is we're a national museum, but it's all about the local community. So
Okay.
between that programming, we're telling the Nashville story from a historical point.
Right.
We got programming coming up later on, 615 stores. If you haven't been, it's a great time for the National Museum to show off what happens in Nashville. And we live stream all of this, so they can always check us out on our webpage.
So Deon, then you know, in the new role that you have as the executive director, give them a little bit of background about your affiliation with music and curation and dealing with museums.
Thanks, Kenny, man. I've been blessed. God found a new path for me after I retired from the military after 21 years and placed me in museums. And unfortunately or fortunately, I got pegged into this music museum. So I've been at the B.B. King Museum. I worked at the National Blues Museum now, and I had another stop in between, and now here I am at the National Museum of African American Music. But what I do is use these museums to show, even though most of them are national museums, is I use that as the platform to affect change in the community.
Nice.
What can we look forward to in 2024 with NMAAM?
Man, it's so much, but one I want to get to is we're, as Kenny just said, I took over in August. Henry Hicks, when he called me back in November of 21, he needed me to come and help him out, do some things, and I did. So, and I told him I'd do it for a year. I was supposed to be leaving. Henry decides to step away and go do something. And when they asked me, I was really hesitant because I said I wouldn't do another president's job.
You didn't want the stress.
I didn't want it, man. You go into these museums, man, and you got to work with the staff, the board, the community, and you normally got to go in there and do a lot of work. And it wears you down. And after doing that for 15 years, I said enough's enough.
Right.
But when it's your calling, you go do it. That's the way my pastor broke it down to me. And I'm having fun. We got a great team. The work we're doing and continue to do. You asked about it. I'll give you an example. I'm looking forward to our block party. Last year was the first year that the National Museum of African American Music put it on Broadway versus on the rooftop.
Right.
I'll let that sink in, and y'all can figure that out why we moved it to the street.
Yeah, man.
Then, so this year, I was talking to Candace Jones, our marketing director.
Shout out to Candace.
Right after that event, I said, next year, I want an all-women's lineup because it's going to be on Father's Day. So this year's block party, we're working on an all-women's lineup, and we got a whole weekend we're working on where Friday will be a kickoff party, Saturday is a women's in harmony program where the women's going to be in the Roos Theater, the men going to be in another room. We're going to do our thing.
Okay.
And then afterwards, we all going to get together in the lobby and have a party. Then the next day is the block party.
All right.
Y'all stay
That
tuned.
sounds good.
Y'all stay tuned in. There's so many other events going on. We did a weekend takeover with Every Sunshine that was just a hit, where she just came in and Noelle, she came up with questions, and what happened, her fan base got to sit there on stage with her and ask her questions. So it wasn't just a formal question.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
So there's a lot of people that are in Nashville that have not been to NMAAM. Just the people that are around here, not even just people that come out of town. What is it that you can tell people to convince them that they need to come to this museum?
One is your museum. It's a national museum, but it happens to be in Nashville. I had to get my city straight. Almost said another city, but check it out. So the way you connect the community to the museum is give them a reason. Just like now, I couldn't tell you where the children's museum is because I don't have a reason to know. I don't have no kids and grandkids. So now how do I get you? How do I get?
What was that noise?
So how do I get you to know? We do a lobby. In our lobby, we have 4 cases. So we feature Nashvillians. So we getting ready to do Mr. Lorenzo Washington, his unveiling on MLK Day.
Yep, January 15th.
So hopefully his friends and supporters will come see him. By them coming to see him, they're going to see our museum and say, wow, this is ours. See, we even give you a $17 parking voucher just for you to come.
Ooh.
And even though we put it on our social media and we talk about it, if we haven't done anything to get your attention, you'll never see it. So we also carry local, inside of our Amplify store, we started carrying local Nashvillians merchandise. So now they go out into the community and say, hey, our stuff is at the National Museum of African American Music. And I'm so proud of them because the Candle Aid, Melted Melodies candles, we can't keep them in stock. Wow. Tourists come to town, they want them, so we constantly order them. What's the hip-hop charades thing? We have her product in there. So the way you connect to the community is give them a reason by involving DJ Smoke. Every Saturday, we started Heartbeat Saturdays. It is one of the most popular
Smoke
things.
show.
When he comes in on line dancing, you can tell when people come in there off of Broadway, off of John Lewis, they feeling it. We missed one weekend. They said, hey, where's the DJ? That's one of the reasons why we're here. So it's a party.
Awesome. That is awesome.
All right, guys. So, the museum is here. It's beautiful. If you've not been, you definitely got to go in there and see. It is an experience. It really is. And I'm not gassing it up. When you get in there, from when you start seeing, which really captivated me was the whole, the gospel part, into the museum and just the history and how it developed and things that you thought you knew. And then you go, oh, this is the facts.
Kenny, that's another thing.
It's amazing.
See, us black people, I'm old school.
Right.
I never been to no museum. So we got this one picture with a museum in, and I guarantee you come to a museum from the takeover moments with Prince, Kingfish, James Brown, the educational tools you're going to pick up from the interactives, our Hip Hop 50, what we treat.
Yep.
It's so much there. It's not what let me quit speaking for the masses. It's not what I grew up knowing as a museum.
No, not at all. It's definitely a different experience and a different vibe. What can we do as a community here, Nashvillians and surrounding counties? What can we do to help spread the word about the museum?
Come see it for yourself. The best advertising you can do is word of mouth. So if you come and you have a good experience, you're going to tell everybody. Financially, of course, but that'll come once you see what we got to offer. You just come and check it out for yourself and you become a fan. You make your decision. It's a total experience down there.
Get out there and support it. This weekend, the MLK, celebration is going to be happening at NMAAM Once You Die's downtown this weekend. Spend some time and check it out. One more time, give it up for our guest here, Sissy Brown.
Noelle Taylor and Deon Brown. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.